my name is Richard Piotrowski and I'm the Executive Director of the Yarmouth and Area Chamber of Commerce. The Yarmouth and Area Chamber of Commerce is pleased to present the Meet the Candidates Mix and Mingle for the upcoming Yarmouth municipal elections. Generously sponsored by Garrian Construction and the Nova Scotia Association of Realtors, this is an opportunity for the candidates to meet and greet the general public. As well, we wanted to use this time to have the candidates answer a few pressing questions and have you, the viewing audience, get to know where they stand. One key difference to remember is that for the town of Yarmouth, the councillors are elected at large, meaning there are 10 candidates vying for 6 seats. Those candidates with the top 6 votes counts will be the winners. For the other 2 municipalities, it's done by district, so some of the candidates are already acclaimed as winners for their seats because they were the only candidates in those districts to put their names forward. Note that the wardens and deputy wardens for the municipality of the District of Yarmouth and the municipality of Argyll are done at the first official meeting of the new council from those councillors at the table. For the town of Yarmouth, the candidates for mayor are, in alphabetical order, Gurdeep Brar and Pam Mood, incumbent. The candidates for council, elected at large, there are 10 candidates that are vying for 6 seats. In alphabetical order, they are Brian Baxter, Steve Barry, incumbent, Kelly Bashara Lacroix, Wade Cleveland, incumbent, Gil Dares, incumbent, Belle Hatfield, incumbent, Mark Hubbard, Derek Lesser, incumbent, Neil McKenzie, and Dylan Nickerson.
Hi there, my name is Gurdeep Brar. I'm the mayor candidate for the town of Yarmouth. My platform is based on a few priorities, which include economic growth, mental health and well-being, economic development, and community activism. I intend to work with the provincial and federal government to highlight these areas in Yarmouth and also to advocate for the town of Yarmouth. One of my main priorities, I believe, is affordable housing because I feel that is a very important need here, and I want to do that simultaneously while bringing in new business into the town of Yarmouth. In order to bring in new business, we need to have affordable housing because when we have new business, we're creating new jobs, we're giving residents well-paying jobs, and with well-paying jobs, more people will come here. So we have to do this together. We can't do it on an isolated issue or one issue at a time. Because what happens is if we keep one issue, something else might get worse. So we have to do these things together. They're all connected at the end of the day. So the community activism is another part of my campaign that I feel very strongly about. And it's basically what it sounds like. It's ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So we need to start helping people and we need to ignite the town of Yarmouth and engage them. We want the younger generation involved because they have to be involved. We want the older generation involved. So we're a community as one. So I am going to be representing all the residents as one. And as my name is on the ballot, everyone listed there as a resident is not listed under my name. They're actually listed next to my name. So I am going to be advocating for the whole town of Yarmouth. Thank you.
Well, hello, my name is Pam Mood, and I'm running for re-election for the mayor's seat here in the town of Yarmouth. So priorities, and it's really a difficult one to just kind of, zone in on, but I think we understand that there are some hugely important issues that we have to take on. I'm going to start, and this is in no particular order, I'm going to say housing is number one. We have to get more housing. We have to protect the stock that we have. And that's through a series of processes that we have in place. I can actually say that if we just continue on the path that we've been on for the last few years, we're going to be okay. We've got in housing, we've got Shaw Avenue coming up. We've got the waterfront development coming up that a lot of housing is going in there. We have things on housing such as the bylaws and things that we are implementing. We've got protections in place for people, development issues that we're going to take on for the developers that want to come in, because we can't build, but we can set the table. And that's exactly what we've been doing. I would say that number two, and it kind of part and parcel with housing, is infrastructure. And I don't think anyone can argue that infrastructure is huge. We have what is right now, I'd say, an $100 million company that we would call the town of Yarmouth that has to be run. It has to be up to snuff with everything from roads to wharves and everything in between. That's a hard one. That's things like the fire station that we just redid. That is, the wharves that usually anywhere else in Canada are taken care of by another level of government. When you're in the town, you have to take care of that yourself. That's no easy feat. The roads, we always have people, with issues with the roads, and that's because when you live in a town, your taxes are paying for 100% of the roads, except for, grants and things that come along. When you cross that municipal line, the province pays for it. So we have to continue to find ways to do that. The third thing I would say is people and services have to be forefront, and that includes everything from health to youth, our seniors, and everything in between. And it seems like a big plate, but that's because it is. We have a population that has gone up 5% in the last few years. Never since 1994 has the population of the town of Yarmouth gone up. It's because we have the quality of life here that is off the charts. We just have to keep growing that piece where people still want to move here, but we have to fill in the gaps. So people move in, they need housing, it takes away from the housing, so we have to make sure that we're working on all of those things. The other piece is the healthcare, and healthcare is not local. Healthcare is a provincial mandate. There's not much we can do about it. But I always think healthcare and let the province do what they do. I will say this. I want to say it in the best manner so that it comes across the right way. The contacts that I've built over the last 12 years, now's the time to use them. We've been using them all along, but when you can reach out to any government official and have these conversations, that is tremendously, tremendously important. And we have to make sure that we use what I've worked on to continue on that front. So, we don't want to change direction now. We've got housing on the go more than we ever have. We've got advocacy in myself that can reach any level of government. Healthcare, I'll add to that by saying mental health, hugely important. So you do things like the Mariner Center, you support all the mental health that's happening with the youth, you provide more things for youth to do, make sure that seniors have something to do. People don't like bump outs and things like that, but the seniors are using those to rest along the way. We'll have a walking track. I mean, it's just that quality of life for people. But we need desperately to stay on this path that we're on. We've set a great team, and we're good to go.
Hi, my name's Brian Baxter, and I'm running for town council here in Yarmouth. Housing affordability and cost of living, well, they can't really do much about the incomes unless everybody gets a raise, but for housing, maybe the town could get together with the housing authority, and some of these properties like the old colony, like that's been sitting there vacant for so long. I know that they renovated the old Capri Motel on Herbert Street and made quite a few apartments out of that, and I think they could probably do the same thing with the colony if they can get together and find out who owns that and see if they can take that over and put some housing in there. Cost of living, well, I don't know what the town can do much about that. Maybe do something to try lowering the taxes for the people, and probably get in more stuff for like cultural like more affordability for food, and that's about all I can think of right now.
Hi, I'm Steve Berry. I am running for town council in the town of Yarmouth, and I am very happy to be here today to answer this question. I work at the high school, so my connection with youth is very strong. I work with them every day. I believe it's important to motivate our youth, although that is quite a task these days. I believe it's important they are our future. If we want to ever become anything, we need to make sure that we lead them in the right direction. I'm happy to have conversations on the daily with them, just to let them know about a lot of things that go on in the world and in our town as well. As far as recreation goes, I think that's a big one. For those who don't know, I'm affiliated with a charity called the J Strong Fund. We raise funds through the community that give back to any child who is between the age of 5 and 18 who would like to access sports in the Yarmouth area. 100% of the funds that we raise come back to our youth, and they can apply for up to $300 per youth per year to help cover the cost of sports. As we know, we have the Mariner Center expansion coming very soon. I think it's very important that we pre-plan before those doors open, that is accessible to our youth, both financially and also making sure that not just putting it on paper, but making sure that the policies that we make sure that they're welcome. A lot of times things are written on paper and that's where they stay, but I think it's very important to make sure the things that we're trying to do, that we get done. And I think the best way to do that is to sit down and talk with them one-on-one, to be their own advocate, to make sure what's important for them is at the forefront. Also, mental health is a big one. Oftentimes we say that this is a provincial mandate or a federal mandate. The way I see it, if it's a need in our town, then those people who are elected at any level should be pushing for it. We need supports here. Kids need to learn how to communicate with one another, with other people in the community, and they need to realize that we all go through things at times where we all need that support, and to be able to sit down and talk openly, to put the stigmas away, and to be able to get that support that you need. And you never know who's watching you, who you may encourage to, also get that help that's needed, just to do away with that whole idea of, we're big tough, we don't need it. We do. Our youth need a voice. I'm happy to be on council, as I said, to have those conversations every day, to bring their needs and their wants to the forefront. And I believe the more that we invest in our youth, the better future we'll all have.
Good evening, I'm Kelly Bichera-Lacroix. I'm running for Yarmouth Town Council, and my view on creating opportunities for youth through education and employment would be, we have a lot of our youth are dropping out of schools with no training of any kind, no diploma of any kind, and I truly believe in my heart that if we could open a trade school or trade opportunities for training for a lot of our youth, we would not be losing so many. Back many years ago, the vocational school would accept students from grade 8, 9, 10, who went on to be training in the trades and became very successful. Now we're not seeing that. Those kids have to get through grade 12, and we're not seeing a lot of them make it there. So they're just falling by the wayside and missing opportunities. And I don't think it's that they don't want those opportunities. I think they're not there because there's that roadblock. We need to engage them in educational opportunities, possibly without a high school diploma in many cases. And that may sound controversial. I'm a school teacher by career. So we're always, pushing, get your diploma, but the reality is we have a different society now. And because trade schools require that grade 12 diploma, we're losing kids. They're not finishing grade 12. We have a lot that are, but we are losing kids, and that's not right. That's what's hard to swallow as a teacher.
Hi, I'm Wade Cleveland. I'm running for a spot, one of 6, as a councillor in the town of Yarmouth. This is my 3rd attempt at it. I've been running for council and been a member of council, a proud member of council, for the last 8 years. You're looking for innovation when it comes to housing. This is a difficult question because there's so many nuances as part of it. And I have served very proudly over the last actually 10 years as a part of the planning committee, which takes on anything when it comes to not just housing, but about zoning and those kind of things. So not everything is necessarily innovative. Now, if you're talking about straight out innovation, that's kind of a whole different thing, because the problem is that housing is not a municipal responsibility. It is a provincial responsibility. So part of what we have to do is come up with ideas that the province is willing to take part in. I, for one, would love to take part and see co-ops kind of come back. And the innovative part of it, of course, could be the fact that we could take perhaps some town land that may be available and offer it to them either at an extremely reduced price or in some kind of a deal in which that is our contribution to whatever that project could be. So for me, that's what I see as the innovative part of it, is that willingness for town to find those banked properties. And there's not a ton of them out there, but they do exist. So that's one. Another one, and again, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this one, but things like we've had the Yarmouth Mall come to us because the mall itself is suffering right now. Well, one of my thoughts with that is perhaps we put residences in there and create our own small little sub-communities as part of that. So I actually started investigating that a little bit and would like to take that a little bit further. There are other things to do. There's advocacy, steady advocacy, things like going to the province and trying to get as many different kinds of programs and grants that you possibly can. Federally, you try to get those grants, because if you can take pieces of land and you can put all of the infrastructure in, so you're talking about getting the streets there, that kind of thing, then that can take you pretty far too, because you're ready for developers.
Good evening. My name is Gil Dares. I'm running for a position on town council. This past 4 years, this is my term on council, is I was particularly interested in the infrastructure at the airport, because we have to maintain that. I see the airport as being vital to the economic future of this area. And if nothing is changed, then within 10 years, that airport won't be functional. So I've been on the Airport Corporation for the last 3 years. And a year and a half ago, I convinced them to allow me to create a task force. The task force is aimed at a couple of things, two directions. And one is to find industry that we can attract to this area, because industry is going to be what saves the airport. But also the infrastructure needs to be improved. The runway and the runway lights are in a situation where they have to be improved within the next few years, or the airport won't be functional. So we have the task force. We've engaged consultants. We've got a lot of work done. There's much more to do, but we did file a brief back in August 2nd with the federal government to have those issues on the table for the finance budgeting in the spring. So we're hopeful that we're going to be able to attract an investment from the other two senior levels of government, because quite honestly, it's just not practical or affordable for the municipal units.
Hi, I'm Belle Hatfield. I'm running for re-election to Yarmouth Town Council. Infrastructure is an issue that is primary for any of us on municipal councils. We really are about maintaining property, maintaining roads, maintaining the pipes that are underneath the roads. And it's a constant challenge, especially in our urban centers. One of the biggest concerns that I have at the moment is our sewage treatment plant. This is really a miracle. This sewage treatment plant really catapulted the town and the municipality into a new era. Without that treatment plant and without the municipal infrastructure out on the Milo stretch that cleaned up the lakes, we wouldn't have the downtown waterfront development. We wouldn't have the tourism potential that we've developed. But that sewage treatment plant was built more than 30 years ago. There are new federal regulations that are coming into effect, and there are going to have to be major improvements to that facility within, I think, the next maybe 15 years. I'm thinking it's either 20, I think it's 2040, it might be 2030. We have to continue to storm separate our sewage system so that it is more cost effective, because if we're putting storm water along with sewage into that system, it's costing us a lot of money. So it's just one of the many balls that we have to juggle in the air.
Hi, my name is Mark Hubbard. I'm running for council in the town of Yarmouth. So for housing, I think it's so important to put people in houses. It's going to help with the medical fields. It's going to make people feel safe. Mental health will go down, and crime will go down as well. As long as they feel safe, they'll take care of their neighborhoods. What I want to do on day one is go in and ask council to actually lay out the base, the roads, the sewer, the septic, the water for any division, especially on town lands, and then we can either sell the lands or lease the lands to people who want to build houses on it. They can pick whatever developer they want, it doesn't matter. The infrastructure will be there based on town. If we don't have enough people, we hire more people, we create more jobs, and we get the job done.
Hi, my name is Derek Lester. I'm running for town council. I've spent the last 4 years on town council, looking for your support of one of your 6 votes for out of the 10 for town council. The topic I randomly picked was about youth. I've worked the last 28 years in the education system. It's an area I'm passionate about. I have grandchildren and children that have grown up here and are growing up here, and it is our future, obviously. Some of the things that are happening with youth right now is the Mariner Center expansion. Having an Olympic-sized pool and a nice facility there is going to be nice. But we do also need more recreation in the South End. I think we need to revitalize our recreation department and bring more events right to town so people with transportation needs can also access them. But as I said, I was as a teacher, resource teacher, guidance counselor, school administrator, and the international student program director. And I see, I've had an opportunity to see people from around the world, students come here and see what Yarmouth has to offer. And I think we often look for the big, what's the big ticket item that we have here to market. And what you say that the youth that come here from other countries are they just love the fact that we have such a slow-paced life. We have wildlife around us. We have maybe too many deer, but wildlife around us, and we're by the ocean. So it's, some of those things we take for granted, seeing the stars at night. Those are opportunities for our youth that we have to help them realize everybody in the world doesn't get to see those. So yeah, definitely we need to revitalize our recreation plan and bring more to the South End. The other part is I'd love to see a university other than University of St. Anne and Dow Nursing. Those are 2 good programs that are specialized for French students and people going into nursing. But an arts program would be wonderful if a student could start an arts program in Yarmouth. It would help motivate our students to see the opportunities out there. But in order to do all that, I think we need to focus heavily on mental health and the drug issue. And I think the drug issue is tied completely to mental health. So we need to advocate the provincial government to help fund more resources for mental health so that our youth can see a future.
Hello, my name's Neil McKenzie. I'm running for Yarmouth Town Council. I think great ways to promote local business and attract new business to the area is to continue to tell the great story of our region, our destination, what Yarmouth has to offer. I think we have tremendous potential here for lots of industry, but I think tourism, which is very close to my heart, is an obvious way to continue to build investment and build awareness, build interest in our destination. Tourism is often the first time people experience a destination, and if we're going to have people invest or start a business or develop homes or invest in anything that we want them to do in our area, we need to have them first experience our destination. We need to have them like the idea of living here and see themselves in our community, see themselves living here with their children, determine what their children can do and their spouse. All these things help forge a decision by anyone that's looking to invest. And we need to be selling Yarmouth. I've been doing that for over 10 years and promoting and advocating for our destination because if we don't do that, we'll be forgotten about here. We need to continue to push and promote our destination and keep that story going about why Yarmouth and our town is a great place for investment.
Hello, my name is Dylan Nickerson. I am running for council of the town of Yarmouth. And the question I was posed was, what would I do to support economic growth in the town and municipality of Yarmouth? And one thing that I keep hearing from people is that if we had more of the airport and more of the waterfront development happening that people are talking about, we could increase tourism, we could increase the economic opportunities for smaller businesses in town. Like I know a few smaller businesses that have come across little bits of red tape here and there as far as locations that they can set up around town and stuff like that. So I'd like to open up more opportunities by giving them more spaces to have their business. I also changed a bit of the busking bylaw as a artist myself and an entertainer. I wanted to increase the economic opportunity for buskers in the town, so changed the bylaws to allow amplification in Frost Park and the Clock Tower. So just small initiatives like that can build to larger opportunities for the small businesses, and then for bigger businesses, I would encourage larger development of, like, say, shopping centers, more clinics and that sort of thing. And as long as we have more support within the town, I think the economy will grow with it.